Alright then. Let's continue. Let's play not Final Fantasy 2, and hopefully this will be the last part as we watch the credits go by as slowly as possible. And now to give my thoughts on the game. Back in the day, Final Fantasy 4, okay, Final Fantasy 2 as I knew back then, was a huge pivotal moment for me, of course, and I really got into it. This game has its good and bad points now I think about it. The good points is the story goes at a very fast pace and flows very well. You're jumping from scene to scene, and the characters are pretty good for their roles. I especially love Lydia and Rose and Porum. Okay, I didn't love female characters, but Lydia is definitely a prime example of a favorite female for me. Probably the first female character from Fantasy Fame that I actually had an attraction to, especially when she got older. Keep in mind I was younger, and one of the things you have to remember about characters is their age only happened when basically they have a plot device. So a character who was 15 back in 1960 is still 15 in 2055. Realistically, Wadia should be like 40 by now. But who knows? For real, what their ages would be. I'm not even sure how much Lydia aged during the Sun Monster thing. Of course, it was pretty neat using spells. The game has very good music, and definitely a nice final boss tune. It's very good at knowing when to use tunes and when not to. Now, on the negative side, I think the game overdid some things. The fake deaths, okay, the certain dramatic title scenes were a bit overdone. Honestly speaking, the game is a bit linear, which can be good and bad. I mean, it helps things keep more focused, but you're basically playing the game the same way each time, other than slight variations of things. You also have the fact that, honestly speaking, the strategy in the game is kind of limited. You're basically, how do I put it this way? You have a choice between having Rosa use healing magic or having her attack. Most of the time you're gonna have her heal. Having Kain jump or Kain use item. The strategy is literally decided for you. This is a big part of preset class games. Yeah, your characters have a defined role, which is good and fun, but because the role is defined, you're already being told what to do. But at the same time, it's not that much of a complaint because as much as I like customization, having a focus is good too. So really, here's the thing. If you want a focus, it's good to have games like Final Fantasy 4. If you want some breathing room in terms of how you should play a game, games like Final Fantasy 5 and heck even Final Fantasy 3 are a bit better because you can change your job class and decide who should be what on the fly, literally. And if you want really open-ended stuff, I guess there's those Western RPGs or maybe stuff like the Saga series, especially Romantic Saga and Saga Frontier. So rather than want one type of game or another type of game, only it's best to use different games for different purposes, which is what I learned over time. There's really nothing you can do at this point except let it run. Now, the thing about this is while Final Fantasy 4 got me into RPGs, I think it was actually Final Fantasy 6 that solidified my taste and style in RPGs. Told me that I liked the idea of customization but plus restriction, liked the idea of choosing my own party members and so forth. But yeah, and more or less is another feature of some games. Watching the same thing happen for a while, this tells you the game's over. But just for the fun of it, let me go ahead and show something by loading it up from an earlier part. those were my levels when I beat the final boss in my basic time. Now, to be fair, I got this time by basically skipping a lot of stuff, but it just goes to show how things can be. So 45, 49, 50, 50, 48. Of course, there's obviously going to be a bit of luck involved because depending upon what the final boss does in terms of Big Bane and so forth can make a huge difference. If it does high level damage, you can see really an edge dying constantly at this level, but if it goes low level, they could both survive. But more or less, that's basically it. Yeah, so essentially, this completes Let's Play Not Final Fantasy 2, where we relived the very first RPG I really got interested in and see how it plays. Overall, it plays just fine. It's still enjoyable even with the limitations and knowing what the other versions are like and having played other games. And it still serves its purpose well. It's no longer perfect in my eyes, but no game is. And really, once you find perfection in something, there's no point to anything besides. I want contradictory stuff. Sometimes I want X and sometimes I want Y in a game, and a game cannot be both X and Y at the same time. So there you go. Well, hopefully I can think of what to play next, but it was fun going for this. So, for the last time, in terms of Let's Play Not Final Fantasy 2, bye.